what's your thought process, one, on where the team is, and if you see some things that may be able to help them come out of this funk?
Well, let me say first of all, I think they're, I'm not just a big fan. I'm a staunch fan. I'm a
There
supporter.
you go.
I'm going to always bleed orange and blue,
Yes,
and
sir.
support the program in any way I can. But I definitely watch the games. Right now, I mean, first of all, I think they have had some great moments this year, where we've been able to see the potential that they have, and like all great teams, I think there just has to be some consistency developed in handling, taking care of the ball, some of the shot selection at certain times of the game, and then a little more defensive intensity.
Hmm.
More consistent. They've become a good defensive team, but I think that those are the areas that I see that they haven't been able to sustain them for that 40 minutes, but they're growing. Um, I they play with the four guards, and I played with three guards. I think that it becomes more challenging at certain times. But when I look at them, and here's some of the things that I think that I would like to see them do more of, and that is get that ball into Kofi. I
Oh
happen to
yeah.
look at the stats. He's shooting 70% from the field. I
Yes.
mean, but he's only Dion. He's only getting 10 shots a game, less than 10 shots a game. So I would say that through through periods, especially like they've had a few periods where it's been droughts on scoring. That's
Hmm.
when a big man, someone like yourself, I can tell you if I'm in the game and I got Dion on my court, and I reach the droughts where I see the 1 minute, 2 minute we don't score, I'm going directly into the big man. And I think that some of that in their strategy, as that for the players on the floor to realize that at times and I know AO has had a tremendous season, and I think sometimes you've got to go in that inside out and
Yes.
give AO an opportunity to not have to always be under the pressure to create something. But I think if we can get it inside during those droughts and then bring it back out to AO, I think they'll find some methodology of working through the droughts, because that's a challenge for every team, is how to stay consistent and avoid the droughts and scoring. And then defensively, I think they're like a lot of teams. It's just being able to sustain the intensity at certain points of the game. They've definitely stepped up defensively this year. They're
Yes.
playing a whole lot better, but there's been just some lack of focus during certain times of the game that I thought had cost them a little bit of their success
Yes.
that they've achieved. But overall, I love the mix that they have. I surely would like to see them play big a little bit more. Some of
Hmm.
our bigger people, just because some of the athletic teams that have come in have had bigger players, and I think at that small forward, power forward position that we sometimes match up with, we give up a little bit of size, which I think hurts us on the boards in some of those games. But those are the things I would encourage them. I would also encourage them, keep looking for your shot. I think I know Miller, is a great 3-point shooter. He has got to stay aggressive.
Hmm.
He's got to look for shots, and then it's always important to try to maybe get a few easier shots, take some closer in shots to get yourself comfortable, and then back up and get that three in. So those are just some of the things I've seen that I like where they're at. The program, I like where it's at. I think we got players coming in. We the definitely the talent level has risen, and now you just hope that you start to see that we win games we should be winning, and we don't lose games that we should be winning. I think that's just my little input on it.
No, I agree, and that's always where that growth comes in, is seeing that progression, as you mentioned. One, the consistency, winning the games that you're supposed to win, but and that's more of a there's a mentality when you come out and you're like, okay, we're supposed to win this game. Let's step on these guys next and get it done. And I think sometimes that's the difference between, our generation and this generation. Guys play the game more instead of competing and fighting at the game more. But I got to ask you this: from one point guard about another point guard, right now, Andre Curbelo is leading the Big Ten in assists. And I have been quoted on the radio saying if this kid stays 4 years, Bruce Douglas's record might finally be challenged. What do you think about the young man that you've seen him so
Yeah,
far?
I like him an awful lot. And somebody asked me that on Facebook a couple of weeks ago on one of the line. I like Carbelo's game. He's first of all, one of the things he brings to the floor is he is a true point guard. He's someone who comes out looking to create, looking for opportunities for other people. He's a great facilitator, and if you get open, he gets you the ball. And that's the sign of a great point guard. And so I would love to see him get that record. Stay 4 years, Mr. Curbelo, get that record. Records are made to be broken. I would have a lot of pride in seeing someone that has a great game, that loves the game, and really when he comes on the floor, you can see the difference in how we operate. And I think that's some of what they need. They need someone who's out there kind of directing traffic, and when he shows up, I start to see people try to get open. I start to see people move to places because they know if they get there, that the ball's going to be there. And so I do like his game. I think he's a bright spot for them this year in terms of how the future is going to look in their play from a point guard perspective.
Yeah, he definitely brings a lot of energy. And like you said, he changes you could see the overall energy of the team change when he steps on the court. I think he also, after talking to him the first time before he signed, he was on his visit. And one of the things he said is what you said. He looks to make people on the court better. And that's the true sign of a point guard, is because your first thought is not about you. It's about the team, and it's about, making everyone else on the court better. So I love that young man. You see our freshmen, our core of freshmen right now. And I think a lot of our down periods come during the year because we don't have an Andre Felice. We don't have a Kipper Nichols, meaning we don't have seniors to step in that development. I think as our freshmen continue to develop, Curbelo, Miller, Coleman Hawkins, as they continue to develop, where do you think this team could be? I personally think they could push for a Final Four, but it really is going to take that development of our freshmen to supplement Io and Kofi.
Yeah, the potential's there, no question. But that's the key factor, is their development. For Curbelo, he's great making decisions late in the game, being able to slow down when we need to slow down, and being able to speed up when we should be speeding up. Those things for him and developing later in the season is going to be big. Our big men, we need some bigger, some of our freshmen to come off. Miller, we need him to develop in his confidence, to stay confident. You're going to miss some shots. It's standard for freshmen. We go through these parts of the season where we don't play as well as we like, we don't shoot as well as we like, but we play through it. And you're exactly right. If they're going to be the Final Four team, it's going to be because of the freshmen and their development, what they can bring into the game, so that we don't lose when they come in, but that we can pick up momentum. And by the end of the season, they will be veterans. That we don't call them freshmen. And if they're playing up to their potential, Illinois could be a Final Four team. I think everybody knows that. The challenge is, can we get those players developed? Can we find the right chemistry for them when they're out there over the long haul, so that it's more consistent, the intensity is sustained longer, and that takes a little bit of toughness. It takes like you said, thinking through the game a little bit. But man, yeah, I definitely think they got the potential, and we're going to see what those young players do.